Please like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and please press the bell icon so that you get to know when my latest video has come. And to learn more and to find a video relevant to you, please do check out my videos list.
Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan once more with you from a very own channel Astro Assurance. Yogas are very important in our horoscope, and doshas are something also which are very important because they also bring certain results. Now we all know that, and we also identify yogas, and we are also fearful of the doshas. Sometimes it so happens that we find a good yoga in our horoscope, however we find that it doesn't fructify. Now I've made some videos earlier on also about when yogas become strong or when they can give results. However, I'm making another video adding some complementary information and some additional information so that people are able to gauge better whether a yoga is strong enough in their horoscope, how do you identify strong yoga, and how do you identify whether a dosha is also strong enough to give challenging results or if the dosha is weak. First of all, yoga can also be a dosha because yoga is nothing but a conjunction of energies or the synergy of energies between any two planetary entities. Sometimes it can be more than two planets also, but in general any two planets, when they share energies or have a synergy of energies coming together, then they form a yoga. Yoga can be when planets are placed together, or yogas can also be when planets are, say for example, in kendra to each other or in a specific position also from each other. So yogas can be formed through various placements. Now what are the strongest yogas? So firstly, a yoga which is a Raj yoga is different from a yoga which is a dosha. So a yoga, unless it is called a Raja yoga or a Dhan yoga or similar yogas, it is not a positive yoga or a auspicious bringing yoga. On the other hand, a yoga or a coming together of energies or a conjunction of energies between malefic planets generally is a dosha. For example, Saturn and Moon coming together is a Vish dosha. Saturn and Rahu coming together is a Shapit dosha. Then you have a Pap Katri yoga where on either side of Moon you have malefic planets. Then it is called as a Pap Katri dosha also. So unless a conjunction or a yoga is a positive yoga like a Raja yoga or a Dhan yoga, only then we usually term the yoga as a yoga. But those yogas or coming together of energies which are more malefic in nature or may bring negative results, we normally call them doshas. But doshas are also to a large extent nothing but yogas or conjunction of energies or sharing of energies between malefic planets. Now the best of yogas are those yogas which are formed either in the kendra houses or in the trine houses or a combination of both. For example, Dharma Karma Adhipati yoga is a very strong conjunction or synergy of energies between planets which rule the 9th house and the 10th house, and that's why Dharma Karma Adhipati yoga, which means the Dharma house which is the 9th house and the Karma house which is the 10th house, those planetary energies coming together. One is a trine house and one is a kendra house, that too very auspicious trine house which is the 9th house and very auspicious or the strongest kendra house which is the 10th house. Similarly, any yoga is a strong yoga if it's either in the kendra houses in a Mula Trikona sign or exaltation sign of the planet or the planets. For example, the Gachakesari yoga is a great yoga in the Cancer sign because one, Jupiter is getting into its exaltation sign whereas Moon is getting into its Mula Trikona sign. So a Gachakesari yoga, for example, in the 4th house, which also has the natural energies of Cancer, which is also has the natural energies of exaltation of Jupiter because of having the natural energies of Cancer and being a natural house of Moon. So here in the 4th house for Aries ascendant native, the Gachakesari yoga is very strong. So similar synergy of energies have to be seen when yogas have to be seen. For example, if you are looking at a Chandra Mangal Yoga, for example. So this is a mixed yoga. This yoga can do better when it is in a friendly sign, for example in Aries or in Leo or in Sagittarius, to a certain extent even in Taurus. However, Chandra Mangal Yoga, for example, when it gets into Gemini, or when it gets into Virgo, or when it gets into Scorpio, or when it gets into Capricorn, these signs are slightly tougher placements for a Chandra Mangal Yoga. The reason being is that Chandra Mangal Yoga is a mixed kind of a yoga. It can give you great results, but it can also give you challenging results. So such a yoga, if it gets into more friendly signs for both Mars and Moon, then it tends to give you more positive results and gives you less of challenges. However, if this yoga gets into malefic signs to either Mars or Moon or both, for example in Virgo or even in Gemini, or even for example in Capricorn, where Mars gets exalted but Moon is in a tough placement, so this can be a tough placement for a Chandra Mangal Yoga. Yoga such as Sulafa Yoga, Dhurtara Yoga, Anafa Yoga, where Moon is the main primary planet here, where a planet placed before or after or either sides of Moon gives you any of these yoga, then such a yoga is better off being in the Kendra involving a trine house. So for example, Moon is in one of the trine houses, and a benefic planet is in the Kendra, in the 4th house, for example, while Moon is in the 5th. Or when Moon is in the 10th house and a benefic is placed in the 9th house and in the 11th house, such a yoga can be a more powerful yoga. Such a yoga can also be a powerful yoga in the Lagna if, say for example, Moon goes into the Lagna and Venus goes into the 12th house in Pisces when Moon is in Aries, and Mercury goes into the 2nd house in Taurus, or Jupiter goes into the 2nd house in Taurus, then too this is a powerful and strong Raj Yoga. The other thing is, when Raj Yogas have to come about, then it's always good if the planet's degree is closer to the degree of the ascendant. If the ascendant is at 17 degrees and say Jupiter and Moon both are at 17 degrees in Cancer in the 4th house for an Aries ascendant native, then it is a more powerful yoga rather than when, say for example, the ascendant is Aries, it is at 2 degrees, but Jupiter and Moon are still in Cancer sign, but say for example at 27 or 28 degrees, then it is a less powerful yoga because it is not close to the ascendant. So a yoga of planets which are closer to the degree of the ascendant is a more powerful yoga. The other thing is a yoga which has no aspects on it, no malefic aspects on it, then it is a powerful yoga. For example, if Moon and Jupiter are both in a Gachakesari yoga, but Moon is also in a Papkatri with a Ketu on one side of the Moon and Saturn on the other side of the Moon, then it becomes the yoga, the Gachakesari yoga is spoiled. Or Moon and Jupiter are together, but there is the aspect of both Rahu and Saturn on the Gachakesari yoga, then again the yoga to large extent is spoiled. So a yoga should be in the Kendra or the trine house, either in the exaltation sign or Mool Trikon sign, or to lesser degree the other sign, or in a friendly sign definitely. If a yoga goes into a malefic sign, it may still give you some auspicious results, but the challenges that the yoga may throw up, even a Gachakesari yoga, may be higher than when it is in a more positive sign or a stronger sign for both the planets which are coming together. A Gachakesari yoga can also be with Moon and Jupiter aspecting each other. However, for example, if Moon is in Cancer but Jupiter goes into Capricorn in the 10th house for an Aries ascendant native, so Moon definitely is in Cancer in Mool Trikon sign. Jupiter gets into its debilitation sign of Capricorn. So this yoga is still a Gachakesari yoga, but Moon is strong and Jupiter is weak, Jupiter being in its debilitation sign. So a lot of strength of the yoga is taken away. In fact, it can throw up some malefic challenges also and some auspicious challenges, but the malefic challenges can also be there. So unless the yoga is clean yoga with no malefic aspects, no malefic signs are involved by virtue of planets placed in them, no Papkatri with planets on either side, planets closer to the ascendant degrees, planets in the Kendra or the trine houses, and in the exaltation or Mool Trikon or own sign or friendly sign, only then can is the yoga very, very strong powerful yoga, the positive yogas. Doshas on the other hand, when doshas are in the upachaya houses or even the trine houses, they are better off, or meaning they give you lesser malefic results. But when doshas get into the kendra houses, then because the individual doesn't have too much of a freedom when the kendras are involved, so here the doshas can be more stronger. Doshas can also bring you more challenging results. So doshas are best off in the upachaya houses and then the trine houses. Doshas which get into the dusthanas can be very challenging ones, especially if they get into malefic signs to themselves. Say for example, a Shrapi dosha between Saturn and Rahu getting into the 8th house, and that too in the sign of Cancer, for example. For a Sagittarius ascendant native can be a really challenging placement, because here you get Saturn and Rahu are into the sign of Cancer, which is ruled by moon, and it is in the dusthana, and so Cancer sign is both inimical to Saturn as well as Rahu, so here that too in the 8th house. So extremely challenging results can also come by for such a placement. Or Vish dosha between Saturn and moon getting into Scorpio sign, for example, in the 8th house or even in the 6th house, can be extremely challenging placements when the dosha gets into an illegal sign to the one of the planets or both of the planets also. So these also have to be taken into account. Doshas are better off in the upachaya houses or the trine houses, but they should not be there in the definitely in the dusthanas and then later on in the kendra houses. So to give weaker results or not to give more challenging results. Doshas which are again closer to the degree of the ascendant are more powerful doshas of either of the planets or both planets closer to the degree of the ascendant than to their tougher doshas. Doshas with aspects of other malefic planets increase the malefic intentions of the dosha. Benefic aspects on the dosha will decrease the malefic intentions. Malefic aspects on a dosha will increase the malefic intentions or attributes or results of the dosha. That has to be kept into mind. Just like on a positive dosha like a Gajkesari yoga, if there is a aspect of another benefic on it, for example, the aspect of a Venus on a Gajkesari yoga between Jupiter and Moon increases the auspiciousness of the Gajkesari yoga. So benefic aspects on yogas, positive yogas are good. Malefic aspects on malefic doshas are definitely a bigger challenge. So these are few of the rules, friends, to see whether a yoga is strong, whether a dosha is strong or not, and it's always better off if we do a deep dive into our yogas and doshas and see how they are manifesting, what kind of results they are giving, what is the strength of the yogas or the doshas, so that we can prepare ourselves accordingly when the dasha is upon us or when the transit is upon us, because dasha periods, antardasha periods and the transit periods involving planets which are involved in the yoga or a dosha will definitely bring up some results related to the yoga or the dosha. So one has to be careful and be prepared in understanding the yoga or the dosha. So friend, this is my analysis about how to identify the strength of a yoga or a dosha and how to be better prepared in the time period of the dasha or antardasha or the transit of the planet, and how to gauge whether a dosha or a yoga can give you more benefic results or malefic results. So now please look at your horoscopes, understand your placements, understand your yogas or doshas, and prepare yourself accordingly in terms of the dasha, antardasha, the transit which is upon you. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you are looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. Until some other time, with some other video, this is your friend Astrology and Guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.